Evening, 24 hours before the acceptance of the Torah. Every year it's a repeat. In Shamayim, it's a repeat. The light that came in the time when the Jews received the Torah is returning every night in the same date, the Hebrew date. Every year, Every year, same thing Pesach, the exiting from slavery to freedom, every Pesach comes. Accepting Torah every year. Now the Zohar, the Kabbalah, it says that this whole period between Passover to Shavuot, this 49 days, it's preparation for accepting the Torah. Preparation. Which means every day we're going up another step until we reach the special night. And the night of Shavuot, it's a night that we learn Torah all night. That's why it's very recommended tomorrow, if people can sleep a few hours during the day, that they can stay up all night without falling asleep. So it's a Yom Tov, it's 2 days, and once we come home from Shul, we do the Kiddush. They have it? No, that's a regular Siddur.
He said he has to put a stick on it before he can.
Let me see. No, that's not it. Fine. Anyway, so the preparation, it's once we come back from Shul, we do Kiddush, regular Kiddush, Shecheyanu, everything. And then we eat quickly, not too long, and then we go back to Shul and stay up all night. Men only. Women can also do, but they're not obligated. What's the reason that this is the holiday that we learn at night? Because the Jews went to sleep. A few hours before the Torah arrived, they had time to go to sleep. And then when Moshe was ready to give them the Torah, they were not ready. Oh, you're not ready to accept my Torah? Every year for 3,330 in 20 years and 22 years, 3,322 years, every night we have to stay up. Now the best thing is not to talk anything at night. Just to learn. You can drink coffee, you can eat cookies, fine, it's no problem. It's not a fast. You can keep yourself up by having, you can stand. If you fall asleep, you can stand. You can walk while you're learning. But the idea is to stay until 4 o'clock, approximately 4:30, 4:40. That's the prayer will start. So it's not that long. We come to Shul at 11, 4 something, it's 5.5 hours, no big deal. It's a big thing. Besides that, it's 6 hours of learning Torah, it's a huge reward. We calculate how much. And the Sfaradim have everything in one Siddur. If you don't have it, you can buy it in a store. It's called Tikkun Leil Shavuot. It has a little bit of each part of the Torah. From the Chumash, from the Mishnah, from the Gemara, from the Zohar, from Halacha. A little bit of each. I'm sure they do. Almost all these useful books, they translate now to English, so I'm sure they do. They have one side Hebrew, one side English. I'm sure. If you check over here, they'll have. Every American area, like here, Main Street, which is a lot of American Jews live, that's where you're going to find the English books. Places that there's only Israelis or others, it's hard to find. Yeah.
Will you do the same thing after Mashiach comes as well? Stay up and learn?
In general, when Mashiach comes, the halacha doesn't change. Everything stays. But there's many midrashim about it, that maybe halacha will be like Bet Shammai, all kinds of things. The truth is, there's one very simple rule, that when Mashiach comes, we don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to be until it happens. Once it happens, we would know. We know a little bit. We don't know all the details. In certain issues, we have an argument. For instance, we know there's not gonna, for sure we know there's no more Yetzer Hara, no more evil inclination like we have now. Which means if a person wants to do a mitzvah, not only won't be difficult, not only won't have any resistance, he will be anxious to it like the biggest desire that a person has. Like person is starving for food and you give him a good steak or something, how he runs after it, he pushes, he's ready to kill for it. That's how the people will be after the mitzvot. Right now, why people are not like this? Because there's Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is drilling in your mind all the time. What do you, old-fashioned? You're 22 years old. What is this now? You go, you pray 2 hours, you get up in the morning, sleep. There is a basketball game. Why are you going back to yeshiva? Tonight is the final. All kinds of nonsense. And you surrender to your evil inclination. But then, that's it. No more evil inclination. What reason you have not to go? Nobody is holding you. For instance, we know there's not going to be giving birth anymore. No more babies. Why? Why we have babies now? What are these babies that are born? Who are they? Regular adults. Adults that return in the body of kids. But it takes 18 years until they become adults again. But the soul is very old. It's 5,770 years old, this soul. It just came in a different box, a brand new box. The other box, it's like this Siddur, right? It's already getting very old. It's already 10, 20 years old. What happened when this rip? You take it out, you put something new, and then it became new again. That's all. The cover becomes new. But the inside, the soul, very old soul. Very old soul, very experienced soul. It's been here many different times in different tests, different scenario, in the body of a man, in the body of a woman, you know, in the body of a rich man, in the body of a poor man. Hashem has tested you in different scenarios, different tests, here, there, up and down. We had many, many tests in the past. So that once the Mashiach comes, there's no more tikkunim, that's it. The souls who survive, the righteous people who survive, they finish. The world comes to its correction. What's the point of bringing back souls to the world? The test is over. College is shut down. That's it. You don't accept new students. There's no point. They can come as much as they want. The place is closed. There's no point of,
There's never a new soul?
We have very rarely, we still have in this generation that you can find a new soul that never been here before. Very rarely. For very odd reasons. But almost all the souls, almost all of them, with almost no exception, is already souls that been here before. And it's very simple, because you hypnotize people. You see, everyone speak according to previous generation. I used to do this, I used to do that. They speak in different languages. I don't recall a situation that they hypnotize a person and there was nothing before. Silent. Where were you in 1920? Silent. 1850, silent. 1800, silent. 1700, silent. You go all the way back to the creation of the world. Every 10 years you jump in reverse and it doesn't make a beep, then you know it's a new soul. But all the other souls, it can be now a 20 years old, let's say it's a 20 years old girl. And you tell her, now we are 2011. So you tell her, where were you in 1980? What do you mean? She wasn't born. So it could be silent. Well, that means her soul was in heaven. It didn't come to this world. It wasn't here. So then there's silence. You don't hear anything. Then you go, where were you in 1970? Then you begin to hear a voice of a little girl, 3 years old. She crawled on a rug. You film it. She's a 20 years old body. A woman. She's getting married next week. She crawled on a rug. You give her a pacifier, you give her some bottle for drink, she'll drink. 20 years old, behave like a baby. Because you rewinded her soul to a situation that it was in, it's called regression, to a situation when she was 3 years old. Right now, she's alive, 3 years old. You know, it's very interesting how it works. And then you can say to her, let's go to 1900. All of a sudden, you hear a voice of a man speaking Russian. And then when you wake her up, she looks at herself. A voice of a man comes from her throat. She gets very nervous. Wow, scary. You know, it's very scary. Plus, she doesn't know what she's saying. What am I saying? I don't understand myself. The soul used to be in the body of a Russian Jewish man. You understand? Mm-hmm. But it's very interesting because you see that a Jew was a Jew and a Goy was a Goy. I have a feeling myself, I'm wondering to myself sometimes, why this parapsychology, which we have to understand, it developed tremendously in the last 30 years. Up to 30 years ago, we didn't know that much about it. You know, the parapsychology started to advance more and more and more, but I still think that they could have done much better use in it. There's so many things that you can do through this, through hypnosis. You can find out who was the person in his previous life. You can help him in this current life. Or you can find out who's a real Jew, who's not. Because today the world became a salad. Don't know for sure. Every Russian Jew is a questionable issue, if he's a real Jew or not. Every Russian Jew. You know, because the Jews in Russia, 50, 100 years ago, they started to assimilate. You don't know, maybe his grandmother was a Goya. He doesn't know himself even. He is sure he's born Jewish. And then you just find out that in his previous generation, he was a Goy, you know, I don't know, in a war against Israel or something. And now all of a sudden he became a Jew. It could have been a Nazi. Could be a Nazi. Could be Amalek. And now he lives in Israel, he thinks he's a Kohen. Yevarchecha Hashem v'shmerecha, is a neshama of a Nazi. Many things, many interesting things. Or once in a while you find, especially South Americans, that they are already feeling in their soul direct, strong connection to Judaism. You give them something in Hebrew, you let them read apart from the Torah, tears coming out. Where does it come from? You understand? So like they're feeling that their soul is 100% Jewish. There's a lot that could be done with that. I guess since Mashiach comes soon anyway, we'll find out anyway one way or the other. So, all right. So let's move on. So the Zohar said the preparation for the Matan Torah and how you behave in Shavuot will determine how much Torah you will have in the next entire year. Remember, from tomorrow night to the next year, it's another year of Torah. How much Torah are you going to learn? How much success you're going to have in your Torah? How much you're going to remember, and how you develop, and how your brain's going to catch all the details. All these blessings that we need is determined on tomorrow night. Same thing, Passover night, Leila Seder. We call it the night of the order. What order? It makes order in your entire year, from one Passover to the other. How you behave the night of Leila Seder, that's going to reflect on your entire year until next Passover. For instance, if you do the Leila Seder nice, in the right order, in the right holiness, without jokes, without laughing, without television in the background, without driving to your uncle in the middle of Yom Tov, then your entire next year will have order. The rain will fall in the right time. The money will come in the right time. Sometimes the money comes a month later, it's already too late. You already lost your business. What good is that? With all the penalties and the fees you have to pay, by the time you got the check, now it's too late. It's the timing. Life is all about timing. You bought the stock, and it went up. But the day after you sold it, you were holding it for a week. It was only going down, down, down. You sold it, the next day it went up 500%. So you're wondering, wow, look at this, I had that. If I only wait another day, I'll be a rich man. Yes, everything in life is about timing. Same thing, sometimes the opposite. You sold it, and a minute later it crashed. It could be. You know, I tell you, there was a story of a very poor family. It's a true story. It happens about approximately 50 years ago. That the poor man had 2 pieces of chicken for Yom Tov, for the holiday. And he had few children, 2 little pieces of chicken. Anyway, nobody will eat that much. People used to be very poor. So now he has these 2 pieces of chicken, and an old woman knocks on the door. She knocks on the door, I'm starving, do you have anything to eat? My children are crying, we didn't eat for 2 days already. So they're asking themselves, he's asking, what am I going to do? Should I give him the only chickens I have? And what happened tomorrow night? It's Yom Tov, I don't have anything for my own family. So he told the woman, listen, I only have 2 little pieces of chicken. And this is the whole holiday. If I give it to you, I don't have anything to eat on a holiday. But the woman obviously was in a desperate situation, so she begged, no, please, help me out. So he was thinking to himself, he said, listen, until tomorrow night, it's 24 hours, many miracles can happen to me. Where is my confidence? But this woman right now needs it. Right now she's starving. I'm full right now. So he went into the refrigerator, and you know the freezer is on top. You open one door, the old fridge, today I think they have two different doors, freezer on one side, two doors. But in the old days there was one big door, and the freezer was on top, where all the ice used to be very primitive. It was a lot of ice. You have to clean the ice once in a while. And I was a kid, I used to clean the ice. They don't have it, Baruch Hashem. So he opened the fridge, guess what? A 3-year-old baby is choking to death inside the fridge. Which means if you wouldn't agree to give her the chicken, another 10, 20 minutes, the boy would be dead. Then they call ambulance, they came, they gave him some, treatment, and they saved his life. And he wasn't brain damaged or anything like that. So you sometimes see, it's all about timing. If this woman would come 20 minutes later, it wouldn't help. Yeah, now he opened the fridge, he found his son dead. The mitzvah is already too late. But thanks to this, he was able to save the life. So imagine sometimes how when you have a mitzvah and you miss it, you don't know what you lose. Here he would know. One way or the other, he'll find out his son disappeared. Look for him and he'll find him in the end. But sometimes you don't know what you lose. You don't know what you lose. You'll never know until you come to Olam Haba. Hashem say, you remember this woman that begged you for some money and you didn't give it to her? If you give her the money, this is what would happen. And now you see a movie and you see, wow, you want to pull the hair off if you have hair left. You want to pull it off. I once told a story, if you remember, about there was a Rosh Yeshiva, he's still alive, it's only a few years ago. He has a yeshiva in Yerushalayim for American kids. It's all in English mainly there, in Yerushalayim. So most of the kids obviously are from New York, Los Angeles, Baltimore. So this Rosh Yeshiva, since all his students is from America, he comes to raise his money from people in America, from American Jews. And he is a good Rosh Yeshiva, and he comes with the economy. When he flies, he pays regular price. And his wife keeps telling him and say, wow, what kind of a fool you are. You work for the yeshiva, you give your life there. Now you're going to collect money for the yeshiva, and you have to suffer like a sardine, sit like this? Spirit Airline, what is this? You go in a first class. So he tells her, it's triple on the price. Instead of $1,200, it's $4,000. It's a big difference. With this, we can do a lot in the yeshiva. She said, yeah, but if you're going to think like this, there's no end to it. I could have done more, I could have done more. There's never going to end, this thinking. Right now, you have to fly. You deserve to fly like a normal human being. Shouldn't suffer. And he keeps telling her, no. And that's been going on and again. And he goes... all the time he goes economy. Now, after he flew so many times, one time he get lucky. The woman in El Al, she said to him, listen, sir, since you're a good customer, you fly with us every 2-3 months, 4 years already. So we can give you an upgrade free of charge today. So we're going to put you in a business class or first class, whatever. Sit in the front in a special chair, free of charge. I said, oh, thank you very much. And he's thinking to himself, you see, Hashem never leave the people who does what he wants. Now he goes in, he flies first class. He likes it. So, wow, maybe my wife is right after all. What a difference. I can sit, I can snore, nobody bothers me. No. Now, 2 months later, he has to fly again. So he said, well, listen, I know it's Yetzer Hara. If I'm going to buy first class, I'll still buy economy. Maybe I'll get lucky. They give me an upgrade. He buy again regular ticket. Now he comes to ask. He say, hey, do you have by any chance maybe you can upgrade me? She say, well, you're lucky. There's one more chair over there. I can give it to you. Oh, he gets it again. Now twice. Now for sure he can't live without it. Now the third time he comes to ask again, do you have an upgrade for me? The woman say, I'm sorry, sir. Today, the plane is packed, not one chair available. He said, come on, do something, check. She said, no, look, it's all full, not even one chair. You're going to see when you go on a plane, everything is taken. Call the supervisor, maybe, half an hour argument now. Get the supervisor, what can I do for you? Hey, what's going on? I'm the best customer you have. You don't give me an upgrade. It's now we don't want. We gave you in the past. Now we cannot do it. He gets very upset. He gets on the plane. What can he do? Once he gets on the plane, he goes through the business class, and he see a rich guy sitting there. And when the rich guy saw him, he recognized him. So he raised. Rabbi, nice to meet you in person. Who are you? He says. He said, I'm the father of this boy that learns in your yeshiva. So that rabbi said, oh, finally I get to see you face to face. Now this rich man is known as a very generous Baal Tzedakah, philanthropist. He gives a lot of money to yeshivot. Very famous as giving a lot of donations. And this rabbi sent him 6 times a letter. Every year he sends him a letter for fundraising. And he tells him, your son learns in our yeshiva. You can ask him that it's a very serious yeshiva. Maybe you can help us. You're helping so many places. The place of your own child, maybe you should help. 6 years he ignoring his letter. No, nothing. He never answered him back. So now he see him face to face. So he got up. I'm the father of this boy. So he told him, I don't understand. I've been sending you letters for 6 years, never bothered to answer me back, and now I get to see you here in the plane. So that rich man said, listen, I have to make tshuva, I have to confess, I was wrong. After your first letter, right away I prepared for you a check for $10,000 and was ready to go in the mail. And then another rabbi came to me, and he said to me, if I would be you, I would think twice if you send this rabbi a check. So I asked him why. He said, do you want your money to go on luxury, like first class? So I said to him, what, you mean he's flying first class? He said, yeah, in my own eyes I saw him flying first class. I got on the plane, I saw him sitting first class, pay $4,000 a ticket. Today it's much more. We're talking, So the rich man said, oh, he's flying first class, he won't see a penny from me. But now, in my own eyes, I see it's a mistake. I see you going in. So wait a minute. How much was that? 6 years? Take out this checkbook. He writes him a check, $60,000. Said for the retroactive, for the 6 years. And he gave him the check. Now this is the story. Now what do we learn from this story? How much was he pushing to get first class? How much? Banging on the counter. What's going on? No first class, sir. This is us. Hashem, I need a new car. No new car. Trying here, borrowing there, trying there, running here, going, begging people. What kind of father-in-law you are? You can help your son-in-law. He goes, he runs the whole world. And Hashem say, you fool, I'm helping you. Don't push to her. Okay, you want it? Get it. And then who knows what happened. Rav Zilberstein was going with the bus to Yerushalayim. He saw a beautiful, fancy car smashed completely on the sides of the road. The whole family died. So he wrote in his book, when this family bought the car, how many people were jealous with their car? I wish we had a car like this. I wish we would have a car. How lucky they are, they got such a nice car. Especially in Israel, when a car, it's like a house. For a car, you need a mortgage in Israel. Not like here. You buy a car, finished. Over there, you need a mortgage for a car. So what happened in the end? The car crashed with all of them in it, and they all died. So the people who used to be jealous with them, thinking now, what's to be jealous? We were jealous for the whole year, and look what happened with this car. You don't know in the end. Same thing when people get married in this generation. What's the point of saying Mazal Tov? The statistic is that in 3-4 years, they're going to stand online for Shlom Bayit. Fighting, divorce, lawyers, custody, private detectives, cheating, drugs, alcohol, violence. Almost for sure it will happen. So why are you telling him Mazal Tov now? I accepted on myself, bli neder, that's it. I don't tell any more people mazel tov. You have to bless them that the shidduch will work out. Yeah. We're happy for you. We dance. Why do you dance? You know what's going to happen from this marriage? Statistically, most likely, it won't be good. Statistic. 1,000 years ago, 1 out of 1,000 marriages went sour. So there's a reason to dance, no? We go by statistic. 1 out of 1,000, fine. There's a reason to laugh, to dance, to drink, to be happy. But today, 70 out of 100, right away, the fight begins. On the way to the house, the fights begin. You didn't respect my father enough. I know what's going to happen. You wait, tomorrow. You know, Shlomo HaMelech wrote, Lech lanemala atzel, go to the ant. The ant in the bag, you know, that walks, these little ants. Ant. Go to the ant, lazy, and learn from her action. What's to learn from the ant? Every animal is teaching us something about life. For instance, a dog and a cat. What can they teach a person? Manners. What manners you can learn from a dog and a cat? You can learn that when you go to the bathroom, you have to cover, you have to flush. Today it's flush. In the old days it was to cover. Take a shovel and cover. Why? The dogs and the cats, after they go to the bathroom, with their back feet, they cover it. Who told them to cover the Chinese food they just ate now? Why they cover it? Who do they bother? Somewhere in a faucet, they cover it. You see, they have instinct. They are programmed by Hashem that people that looked at them will realize, oh, even this filthy animal knows better than you. Okay? So that's one thing. What can you learn from the male rooster? He never forces female to have relation with him unless if she's very happy. And when she's not in a mood, he goes around her half an hour, like this, you know, until she relaxes, and then they get together. Not like today, comes home, honey, I'm home. Moshe, I had a very difficult day. Enough with your nonsense every day, another excuse. The rooster has patience. Okay, darling, no problem. Okay, let me go get you flowers from Costco. It's cheaper over there. Anyway, I don't know why women like flowers more than a car even. You buy her a brand new car, she's not smiling like you bought her flowers. I don't know. Isn't she happy that she got a new car?
We have some good, that's bad.
I think it shows that the man cares about her.
If he buys her a brand new car, it doesn't show that he cares about her? I think a little more, no? $20 and $20,000. No? Something in it, I don't know. Anyway, so King Solomon said, Lech lanemala atzel, go to the ant lazy and learn from it. What can you learn from the ant? That she's a very hard-working creature. Very, very hard-working. An average ant lives 6 months. That's it. How much wheat an ant needs to survive 6 months? 1.5 seeds. 2 little breadcrumbs, that's it. How long does it take the ant to gather 2 little breadcrumbs? 1 hour. Taking it from your kitchen into the cover or in the street. 1 hour. How long the ant work? 6 months straight. All day you see, every time you see an ant, it's taking something and dragging it to some place. And making piles of wheat. Non-stop. So King Solomon said, look, learn from the ant, it never wastes time. Always collecting. The same way the ant collects so much, you collect mitzvot. Now the question is, do you think the animals know when they're going to die or no? No. Like a person know, 70, 80, that's it. That's my time will arrive, no? Most people, when they get to this age, they already make an appointment with the lawyer for the will. Why doesn't wait till 500? He knows most people don't make it. How people knows that they're going to die? They learn from other people that died before them, right? If you never saw anyone dying, your parents crashed with their plane in an island somewhere, they disappeared and you stayed by yourself. And you grew up since you're 3 years old. The monkeys raised you, then you got up, and you don't know. You never saw a person die. Would you figure it out that one day you die? No. When would you know? When you see another person died, I'm not talking you stabbed him and you killed him. That's still not an indication that I'm going to die. Person gets old, he falls and he dies. Then another one, and another one, and another one. The more cases you see, the more you realize this is nature, no? So we know it because since we are kids, we see people are dying all the time. If we wouldn't see it, we wouldn't know. So that means we know that we're going to die. We learn it from our binah, wisdom. What's binah in Hebrew? The ability to understand one thing from the other. If I tell you go straight, on the 5th block make a right, go 2 blocks, make a left, that's where your location is. This is called intelligence. Chokhmah, regular chokhmah. You understand the details, you follow my instruction, that's it. If I say something to you and from my story you learn something else, for instance, Reuven said to his friend Shimon lended $1,000 to his friend Reuven, and he's supposed to pay it to him next month. Then, 2 weeks before he's supposed to pay him, Reuven called Shimon and said, Shimon, I had a lousy day at work. What happened? I punched my boss, I knocked his teeth off, and now he fired me. What does Shimon understand right away from the story? That in 2 weeks he won't get his $1,000. Now, if you say it to a dog, the dog is able to calculate it? No. No matter how smart, how you train him, the dog will not understand one thing from another. Not the dog, not the birds, not the ants. So since the animals don't have binah, they don't have wisdom, and the animals are programmed to live by instinct, instincts only, which means everything that they are naturally trained for, from the time they were born, HaKadosh Baruch Hu programmed them to behave in a certain way, that's how they behave. That's it. So the question is now, based on what I said, the animals know that one day they're going to die, or they live with the feeling that they'll be here forever? They know? How do they know? Did you ever see an animal is making an appointment with a lawyer to write a will?
No, but they know.
Huh?
They know. Butterflies know.
I can prove to you that they don't know, because even a minute before the ant is dying, she's still running to collect. Even the people are not that fools. They collect until the last day of their life. The last day of their life, they don't go to work. If a cancer patient, the doctors gave him 6 hours to live. So, okay, well, I got to open the store. I don't think it's possible. A day before, he may be still going. He maybe sell a dress or two. But the day he's going to die, to go to open the store, it's not on his mind. But the animals, even a minute before, they continue when they're very old already. So the ants don't know that they're going to die one day, but they continue to collect non-stop. Rav Steinman, he saw his assistant is preparing the suitcase for him when he comes to America. How long he's going to stay in America? 6-7 days, a week. And he see that the assistant puts slippers, then he doesn't have room, so he takes it out. He says, you manage without slippers. Then he put, 5 underwears. He said, maybe it's not enough. It's hot over there. Okay, he puts 2 more. Then he said, okay, maybe he needs another pair of tzitzit for Shabbos. He puts it in. Then he sees no room. So maybe he's going to manage with 1 pair of tzitzit. Okay, he takes it out. He puts a coat. Then he replaces it. He brings a different coat. He heard on the news it's rain, so he put a raincoat. 2 hours he works on a suitcase. So then Rav Steinman come to him and say to him, you know how much I learned in the last 2 hours from you about life? So that guy say, wow, how did you learn, Rabbi? He said, I'm only going for 6 days. How much thinking you putting into prepare my suitcase to go with me? Now when I go to life of eternity, how much I have to prepare my suitcase? Very good that I have my own suitcase with me over there. If I'm not going to prepare what to take with me over there, by then it's too late. You come to Hashem, where is your suitcase? I forgot to bring it. Same thing when you ever fly. The important things you put in a suitcase or you put in your bag that you carry with you to the plane? Tefillin, you put in a suitcase? No, because you know maybe it's going to go to Moscow instead of to Israel. You need your tefillin on you. If you have a gold watch for Shabbat, you don't wear it on the weekdays, but for Shabbat, you're going to be in Israel for Shabbat, so you brought your gold watch. You put it in a suitcase and send it with Elal, or you put it on you all the time in your pocket? Your passport, do you put in a suitcase, or you carry in your pocket? There are things that you cannot live without. You make sure it's on you. This is what we say. What you want to get with you to the right place, you have to do yourself. Nobody will do the job for you. Not your children, not your wife, not your students, not your friends. They're not going to help you. If I'm not going to take care of my soul, nobody is going to do the job for me. Sometimes they will, sometimes not. I cannot rely on them. Can't rely on them. I can only rely on myself, nothing else. So anyway, one more thing we can learn from the ants, that they never steal. Which means, if an ant carry one seed of wheat, and let's say it was carried 2 and 1 fell on the way, all the ants who follow there, they all go from different places, everyone comes next to that wheat, somehow they smell it, I guess, and they turn around and they don't touch it. You put next to it another one that it's not belongs to any ant, they will take it right away. But you put one that was touched by another ant, they don't touch. Why is it? Because they already know it belongs to someone. So they're not ever doing gezel. Today, if a person had his wallet fell on the floor, how many people in Manhattan will bother to run after him and give it back to him?
No.
Most people pull it right away, quickly. They look around, put in a pocket.
They will first keep it.
For 10 seconds, their heart is pounding because they're expecting, excuse me, they're expecting. So it goes like this: 10, the heartbeat is very fast. 9, a little slower. 8, a little slower. And they get to 1. They move on with their life. That's how it is. I had this girl once. I took her to Mizrachi in Brooklyn. And she just registered herself to another semester in college. An Israeli girl. Her job was, she's a babysitter of few young mothers. Mothers who came to work in New York for all these fancy schmancy magazine, companies, whatever. So they live together, but they're not 18 yet. So they need somebody to guard them. So that was her job. She lives for free, she gets a salary, and her job is to make sure they're up in certain time. You know, she's watching them. That's her job. So now I tell her, forget about this. Just come to the Midrashia, you find a normal job, and that's it. You start keeping Shabbat, you'll be in a Jewish community in Brooklyn. You know, one thing leads to another. So she's already keeping some mitzvot. And then she said, but I just paid for the college. I told her, there is a rule. Every money that a Jew sacrifices for Hashem, guarantee that he won't lose it. Guarantee. He may get it 10 years later, but in the end, for sure, he won't lose it. It's just a matter of faith. You trust God or not. Nobody ever lost by listening to Hashem and doing something that Hashem is happy with. It's not logical. If you make your father happy here, I don't know, you went, you made him coffee that he likes, is it possible that he's going to give you punishment for it? For running and serving him with a good cup of coffee? Or he's going to give you a candy? Or tomorrow when you need something, he's going to feel much more happy to do it for you, right? So if by human being is like this, human being, right, by Hashem is needless to say. You know, needless to say. So I give you an example. You know, there was one person in Israel that was supposed to become the Ramatkal. You know what Ramatkal means? The chief of the Israeli army. The chief of the Israeli army. And just when he got elected, the Minister of Defense chose him from all the high officers in the army. There was about 4 or 5 candidates. and he chose him to be the new Israeli chief of army. Just there's a period of 2 months until he gets the job officially. They started to dig in his past, and they found out that he built himself a mansion in some place in Israel by stealing some of the property of his neighbors. He makes his fence, he moves his fence. His big properties over there, and now he doesn't want to return it, and the neighbor sued him. So they started to say, well, someone like this, how can we rely on him to be the chief of the Israeli army? He doesn't have morale, this guy, no ethics. How do we know? Who knows? So they started to fight, yes, no. In the end, they decided to pass on him. This week, the richest man in Israel died. The richest man. And this man, his name is Sami Ofer. Shmuel, his name Shmuel. Shmuel is Sami. And they say that he worth more than $5 billion. He owns all the boats. Tzim, the biggest shipping company, the boats, he owns it. 2 weeks ago, they found out that his boats are parking in Iran against the embargo. Every week, his boats parking in Tehran, over there, by the ports, as usual. United States banned Iran, Europe, Israel, and Israelis, all of a sudden, they do business with Iran. So United States put them in a blacklist. That's it. Now they're also in a ban. You cannot do business with them anymore. It's going to crush them financially. Now they cannot deal with American companies anymore. So everybody in Israel talks about it as they're arguing, investigation, put him in jail, trial, this. He died. He died. He was sick anyway. He was sick from before. I guess with what he saw is going on, it rushed his death. So now, today, they had an interview on the television to try to find out if he was a good person or a bad person. And the person who hosts the show, he says to who came, that ex-Israeli chief of army that got fired in the last minute and he lost his job. He was the only one who agreed to come to speak for his favor. Everyone was afraid. Why? Because now they're under investigation. Who knows what they're going to find out about what kind of business he was doing with Iran? Who knows? Everybody used their imagination. So every important person from the government that they invited to speak for or against him, to testify about his character, nobody wanted to come, except this guy. So they asked him, why did you agree to come? You're not afraid on your future political career? Eventually he's going to be in a Knesset, in politics. He's a big officer in the army. So he said, friendship is not only when it's comfortable. Friendships, you take the bad with the good. And I came here because when I was in chief of the Navy, of the Shayetet is with the submarines, in charge of the atomic missiles, torpedoes, all this. It was who was the sponsor of my unit. He took care of all the needs of all my soldiers, this rich guy. One soldier lost his family, he bought him an apartment. I told him we need this and this and this. Everything I was hinting to him, he went and bought it for us. He made the soldiers a place, a club. He made a room for yahrzeit, for funerals. He did a lot of things for us over the years. So isn't it obvious that I have to show my gratitude on the day after he died and come to tell about his great character and his generosity? Even if it's going to cost me in my political career, I don't have a choice. And this is a non-religious person. If he got to this point to think about it, and everyone else was an ungrateful person, nobody wanted to come speak. Why? In the future, they're going to say, oh, you came to defend the criminal. You're helping our enemies, Iran. You came. Don't ever forget. You are sitting in Israeli television and protecting him. Who knows what they're going to find out next week in the investigation about him. So he already said, whatever you're going to find out. I know he was a great person, very generous, Baal Tzedakah. He helped us this, he helped us this. And I felt that I have to come and say the truth for everyone to know. You understand? This is it. This is if you're a grateful person or ungrateful person. Anyway, back to what we said. So the ants do not steal. If somebody already owned that, that's it, they don't touch. One guy, one rabbi, he read about King Solomon 2,000 years ago, and he said, let me go test if what King Solomon say, it's true or not. How does he want to test? He wants to see if the ants behave like King Solomon says. So he said, when the ants are coming out of their holes, when it's not sunny, it's very strong sun, they don't come out. When it becomes dark, no sun, they begin to come out of the holes. They hide. When it becomes dark, they're starting to come out. So he read few things about them in King Solomon's book. One is that they're very hard-working. They work non-stop. They collect much more than they can. So King Solomon sent all the lazy people to learn Musar from the ants. Don't be lazy. Go to the ants and learn how to be a hard-working tzaddik. Second, that they never steal. Third, King Solomon wrote that they don't have no moshel and no katzin. They don't have any boss, any king. Like by the bees, they have the queen. And everyone is around that queen. You go to the gorillas in the safari, there is this gorilla, Guido. He goes like this. All the other monkeys are afraid of him. You know, you do something, you get up, right away all the little ones run. You know who the boss here, no? Everywhere you go, you know who the boss is, right? By the Arabs, whoever has a bigger mustache usually is the owner of the tribe, you know, like he's in charge. He's the macho here. Every place there's a macho here. So now he wants to know if these ants has a boss or everyone does whatever they want. He wants to know if they have a leader. So now 3 things he wants to know. One is that they don't steal. One is they really work non-stop. And third, that they don't have any supervisor. So what did he do? He took off his coat. He came to the hole and he was making shed over the hole. For an hour he put it with a stick. Now it's shed. They don't know. They see all of a sudden it's not sunny. One of them came out, check. Oh, it's really not sunny. So it started to go out. After a minute, all of them started to come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 50. Then he took out the coat, and the sun came right back. So they got nervous now. So guess what the 50 who came later did to the first one? A lynch. They started to attack that one because of you. We all came out. Now who knows what's going to happen to us? They all attack her and ripped her apart. So King Solomon said, okay, one thing I already got. They don't have an officer, no supervisor. If they had a boss, he wouldn't allow a lynch. What is this? I'm the judge here. I'll decide what to do. Nobody ask anyone. Right away, they finish it. Then he took one that one of them had in the mouth. He put it, and then he saw that all the other one passed next to it and turned around and don't touch it. So that's the second thing. And then, obviously, you know, they always work. Everyone knows it. You don't need King Solomon for it. So he got it, and he said, King Solomon was a genius. He was right 100%. So the question now is like this. Who gave him permission, even as a rabbi, to go and test King Solomon? When you come to test a person, if his words are right or wrong, that means you have a doubt in what he said, no? Now, what does the Torah say about a Jew that have a doubt about one verse in the Torah or in the entire Tanakh? If you have a doubt about one verse in Tehillim, one verse in Genesis, Bereshit, Shmot, Vayikra, you have a doubt, that cannot be. I don't believe this pasuk. Cannot be. This pasuk doesn't make sense. What is the title of that Jew? What is it? Apikors. Apikors. What's apikors? One verse is not from Hashem. One verse is a mistake. It's like you say the whole Torah is a mistake. No difference. It's an apikors. Cannot be a part of the minyan. Cannot marry him. Cannot do anything with him. So already exclude himself from Judaism. On one verse. Rabbi, this is, of course, it's from Hashem, but this cannot be. I'm telling you, cannot be. Cannot be. Come on, be realistic. You really believe the dead people will rise from the grave? That's enough. Read in the Rambam. The Rambam bring the list of the minim, apikorsim, הכופרים בתורה, or they even say Moshe Rabbeinu exaggerate. He added some salt and pepper to the story. Already they lose their share to the world to come. It's playing with fire. It's not jokes. So now this rabbi who made an experiment, what is it? It shows that he doesn't trust King Solomon. The Gemara brings a story about one student that was sitting in a shiur, in yeshiva, when Rabbi Yochanan gave a shiur. Rabbi Yochanan says, there is a place in the middle of the oceans that the angels are there, and they go deep in the ground, and they dig diamonds from that mine. There's a special mine somewhere in the middle of the ocean or behind the ocean, somewhere far away, nobody goes there. And the angels are preparing doors from diamonds. From diamonds. Now, did you ever see a mine of diamonds? Did you ever see? Imagine a hole in the ground is deeper than the Empire State Building. That's how deep they go in the rocks. Takes years to dig. How wide? How wide? Like 20 blocks in Manhattan. Big circle. If I show you a picture, you see one truck, huge truck, in a picture from a helicopter that goes in the mines. You know, they made a road around. So you go around and you keep going down and then you go up. Right? This is it. So the truck, it looks like a little tennis ball in an entire building. That's the ratio. You don't see, you have to take a magnifying glass to see the truck inside this. All of this to take diamonds out to satisfy the ladies. 10-carat diamond. 3 hours. She have a rehearsal before she goes to the wedding. She stands like this. If I'm going to go like this, nobody will look. So how should I do? Okay, I make the sleeves a little shorter that they won't hide. This, like this. No, I put one next to it. It attracts more attention. Then in the last minute, she realizes it's not shiny. Isaac, you got to take me to the store. You have to shine the diamond. 3 hours the wedding. Wow, she's so excited. So, where did you get that? The Gemara say the ladies cannot go with their jewelry on the street on Shabbat. They got nervous. On a weekday, it's okay. Only on Shabbat, in a public territory, when there's no eruv. So, why? That's guarantee that she's going to take it out while she's walking with her friends to show her. Let me try. And then she takes it and she walks 4 steps with that in a public territory, and that's Chilul Shabbat. That's why they're not allowed. A man, if he has a gold watch, is allowed to walk with that. Why? It's a jewel, gold, nice on Shabbat. And even though it's public territory, it's like wearing something. Wearing jewelry, it's permitted. But women, no, because for sure they'll show it. They take it out here, you can see. The Gemara knew the psychology of the women. So anyway, Rabbi Yochanan was talking about the angel who prepared doors from diamond to the Holy Temple. And one of the students say, like they say in America, yeah, right. Diamonds. The angels making doors from diamonds. This rabbi is hallucinating. Then one day, the Gemara say that this student was on a boat, and his boat was somewhere in the middle of the ocean, and he saw that vision, that the angels really do. He saw that. And he asked them, what are you doing? They said, we prepare doors for the temple, to the future to come. So then when he went back to his yeshiva, he went to the rabbi, Rabbi, forgive me, forgive me. What? When you told that story about the angels, I had doubt in you. But now I can confirm that every word you say, it's the truth. Why? I saw the angels in my own eyes, and I asked them, and they say exactly as you say. How did you know? So Rabbi Yochanan looked at him. He said, you have the nerve to have doubts of what we teach here? What do you think? We're making up stories? he looked at him so strict, he fell and died. He died right away. So the question is, Rabbi Yochanan, with all due respect, is not a peanut compared to King Solomon. King Solomon is 1,000 years earlier, and Hashem wrote in the Torah is the smartest person ever lived. 12 years old, he was the king of the world already, before his bar mitzvah. Before he was putting tefillin already, a 12 years old kid today, what does he do besides playing basketball and Game Boys? What does he do in his life, 12 years old? Only to eat. All day, pizza, burgers, Coca-Cola, this, Game Boys, some basketball, and that's it. Right? So, he was already the king of the world, 12 years old. It's no joke. So, if Rabbi Yochanan, you have no permission to doubt what he says, you have doubt to check King Solomon? So what about this rabbi? He went to do an experiment with the ants and he proved that he's right. He sinned or he was permitted? What do you think? Huh?
If it's 1-to-1, it's permitted. He's probably.
Well, based on what I just said with Rabbi Yochanan, did he do a good thing or a bad thing? Huh? Not bad? Why not bad? He had emunah? Well, if you tell me that your check is good, and a minute after I call the bank to investigate about you, is this shows that I trust your word, or I have doubts about what you promised? I have doubts, no? You get offended that I call the bank. You give me a $2 check, and I call to the bank to check about you if the $2 is good. It's an insult, right? So it's an insult. King Solomon says something, and you go, you put your coat, you waste an hour to check if he knows what he's talking about or not.
Rabbi is doing kiruv. For future generations, he's proving for people who might search.
No, but he didn't do it in front of his students. If he took his student to see, fine. But
1-to-1 permitted? 1-to-1 permitted?
no, that's the whole thing. That student, he had a question. So the answer is, not only was permitted, that's what King Solomon said to do.
Learn.
You forgot. Go to the end, you lazy bum, and learn. So you went to the ends to learn. Why don't you pay attention? I got you good. You see what's going on? You know, in Israel, when you want to become an F-16 pilot, so they play with your mind. That's the first step before they even send you to the course. I want to know if you know how to pay attention to the small words. So you go into the phone, and then when he interviews you, one of the Israeli big shots, so he says, so the phone rings. So he tells you, pick up the phone. So what do? You pick up the phone to talk, right? I'm talking the old primitive phones, the rotary phones. Before you were born, there was rotary phones. So you pick it up, right? So he say, you just failed. You cannot be a pilot. Pick up the phone means pick up the whole phone. What do you call that, only that piece in English? In Hebrew, it's afarkeset.
The receiver.
The receiver. So I didn't tell you to pick up the receiver. I told you pick up the phone. Goodbye. Yes. Interesting. You know, anyway, now, listen good now. You know, when we eat bread, we have to do Birkat Hamazon. The first 3 blessings is from the Torah. We have to say, Baruch Atah Hashem Azan et Hakol. That's Moshe Rabbeinu. First bracha. Moshe made the text. So we say thank you on the food. Azan et Hakol. That feed everyone. Then the second one, Al Haaretz ve'al Hamazon. On the land and on the food. That's Joshua ben Nun. When he occupied Israel, he made the second bracha. So now you must mention the food and the land, the Holy Land. The food and the land must be mentioned in Birkat Hamazon. Then the third bracha, Baruch Ata Hashem Bonei Yerushalayim. Who is this? David HaMelech and Shlomo HaMelech. Why? Who built Yerushalayim, Bet HaMikdash? King David prepared the foundation, and his son Solomon, he prepared the Bet HaMikdash, the first temple. And then the fourth bracha is Chazal, Anshe HaKnesset HaGdolah. They attach to these three brachot 100 of other requests. Why? Because this is the most important prayer in Judaism, the blessing of the food. So they attached everything to it, parnasa, health, children, work, everything you can think of, attached to it, to Birkat Hamazon. The question is, there is additional parts that are not as frequent. They come once in a while inside Birkat Hamazon. For instance, Ya'aleh ve'yavo. When do you say it? On Rosh Chodesh, first day of the month. And holidays, Chol HaMoed, and holiday, Yom Tov. So it really comes about, 20-something days a year. Right? That's it. Then there is every Shabbat, Retzeh ve'achalitzenu. You got to say, when you say Birkat HaShabbat. The question is now, what happens if a person forgot Retzeh ve'achalitzenu? Finish Birkat Hamazon, I forgot to mention Shabbat. The answer is, what does he have to do? Does he have to start from the beginning? Or you forgot, you forgot?
You forgot.
The answer is, on Friday night and on Shabbat morning, he must repeat from the beginning to the end the entire Birkat Hamazon. Seudah Shlishit, the third meal, what the Ashkenazim say Shal Shides, or Shudes, depending where they come from. You don't have to. Why? Because you can do Seudah Shlishit with mezonot or with fruits. There's no obligation to eat bread, like in the first two meals. That's why if you forgot, you don't say. But in the first two meals, you must repeat. What happened now if you have a doubt if you say that or not? 2 minutes later, did I say Retzeh ve'achalitzenu or no? Yes, no. You're thinking, I'm not sure. I was thinking about it, but did I really say it? You're confused now. You can't remember. What's the law now?
You have to say it again.
No, you don't.
You have a doubt.
Name.
Before, you knew for sure you forgot. So you have to repeat. Now you have a doubt. Maybe I said, maybe I didn't say.
Say it again.
No, what do you have to do? The answer is, you have to repeat it again. Why? Because we go after most meals. All 6 days of the week, when you eat bread, do you say Retzeh ve'achalitzenu or no? You don't. So an average person say once or twice a day Birkat Hamazon, right? He eats bread at least once, if not 2 times. If he's Bukharian, 6 times a day. But that's the so he said that many times during the week. Now, if he has a doubt, we go by the majority. In his subconscious, he's used like a robot. He's thinking about his gold business in 47th Street. And now his mind is in a business, and then he woke up. Where am I? I just finished making Birkat Hamazon. So probably he didn't say, because a robot, he repeats what he's normally saying. So since most likely you did not say, you have to say again. Why? Because it's mitzvah from the Torah. It's not a regular blessing that is from the Rabbanan. This is from the Torah. So you have to repeat. What about the women? If a woman doesn't remember, bichlal, forget Retzeh ve'achalitzenu. If a man doesn't remember if he said Birkat Hamazon or not, 3 hours later, he's thinking, wow, I finished the Shabbos meal, I went to the bathroom, I came back, people talked to me, we started to learn, and now I don't remember. Did I say or I didn't say Birkat Hamazon? 3 hours later, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon already. He doesn't remember now. If he has a doubt if he said it or not, he must repeat it, even 7 hours later. Why? As long as he's full in his stomach, he's not hungry again, no matter how long it takes, 4 hours, 5 hours, he must repeat the Birkat Hamazon, because he doesn't know if he said it or not. If he's hungry again, that's it, he cannot say it, because how you can say, Ve'achalta ve'savata, you should eat and be full, I'm hungry again. That's it. Now I eat again, I make Birkat Hamazon for both times, for before and for now. The question is women. A woman 2 hours later, she doesn't remember. To begin with, every person has to say Birkat Hamazon when he finish eating within 72 minutes, to begin with. It's better not to go over 72 minutes from the last bite. It doesn't have to be bite of bread. Even if you eat other things, let's say now you finish the bread now, and you continue to eat rice or meat, and it's half an hour after you finish the bread already. Now by the time you finish the meat, another 10 minutes, it's going to be 72 minutes from the beginning of the meal, which was bread. So maybe right away, let's put the meat on the side because it's going to be 72 minutes. No, from the last bite of any food in a meal. As long as you're eating, everything is attached to the bread because the bread is the foundation of the meal. But now what about women? Women, what's the difference? What, a woman doesn't get full when she eats? Unless if, she's anorexic, like most women that diet from the minute they're born until the minute they die, they're always on a diet. But other than this kind of women that are afraid to eat all the time, that she can fit into the very tight skirt, that when she goes to the wedding, she won't have to go like this, like a penguin, Miriam, come, quick. No, I can't move, don't you see? She's size 8, she wears size 4. Why? To make more sins. That everyone would look at her. Size 8, nobody looks. Rabbi, size 4, everyone looks. I live for it, for the 5 minutes attention. How can I live without it? You know how many days I wait for this wedding? To give my show, to walk into the shul, all the community, kiddush. Wow, after wow. Hashem yirachem. Inside the shul.
I have some question. Isn't it that they say that for the Birkat Hamazon is going to be a machloket because actually it's first of all going to be levatala, second of all, after they have, anytime they wash, they're going to eat it already, they have to wash the hand again and start from all the process.
Who told you that? Well, what's the machloket? If you don't remember if you did Birkat Hamazon, you have to repeat it. You don't have to wash and eat again. Now if you're going to make again a motzi, it could be bracha levatala. Maybe you're in the middle of the meal still. What are you going to do again? Twice hamotzi on the bread? If you didn't do Birkat Hamazon? If you did Birkat Hamazon, now you have to do hamotzi again if you want to eat bread, even a minute later. Because Birkat Hamazon finished everything up to now. But if you don't remember if you did, what, you're going to make again hamotzi? So what's the point? You make a bracha from a doubt. The obligation is Birkat Hamazon is more important than hamotzi, because to do hamotzi is from the Rabbanan. But to do Birkat Hamazon is from the Oraita, from the Torah. It's a much higher level. So doubt, for the Oraita, we have a rule. Every doubt in the mitzvah from the Torah, we have to go to the strict side. But if it's mitzvah from rabbis, from the Rabbanan, we have to go to the lenient side. If I went out of the bathroom and I don't remember if I say Asher Yatzar or no, thinking, did I say yes, no, driving me crazy. I don't remember. I'm not allowed to say again. Why? It's mitzvah de Rabbanan. But Birkat Hamazon, any slight of a doubt, I have to repeat. The question is women. Do they have to repeat or not? That's a very big argument in a poskim. Big arguments. Some say yes, some say no. Better not to. Why? Because the Torah says that women did not get property in the Holy Land. Only the men. When they divided... Wait, don't be so happy. When they divided the land, how did they give the land? According to what tribe you from? Who did they go by? By the ladies or by the men? By the men. You belong to Shevet Dan. Shevet Dan gets this piece of land, and now they share it to families. This Shevet Gad, well, Gad was Be'ever HaYarden, but still, Shevet Yehuda. The only Shevet who didn't get the piece of land is Levi. Levi, because they get 10% from all the wheat and everything that goes to Bet HaMikdash, so they have a place to give them cities, Arei Miklat, and then they get income, so they have enough. They have a place to live, but they don't really own a piece of land. The Torah says like this, Ve'achalta, you should eat, Ve'savata, and you be full, וברכת את השם אלוקיך, and you bless your God, על הארץ הטובה אשר נתן לך, for the great land that he gave you. Who did he give the land to? Only to the man. The obligation is you should bless God and thank him for the food that comes from the great land that he gave you. And a woman didn't get the land. She enjoyed from the land thanks to her husband or her father, if she's married or single, depends. You understand?
What about Levi's?
That's why there's a doubt. If women are obligated to say Birkat Hamazon from the Torah or only from the Rabbanan. For sure they are obligated to say. But what level of obligation? Is it the same obligation like a man or less? If it's less, like it seems here, then if she has a doubt, it's a doubt in mitzvah de Rabbanan. So you have to go to the lenient side, not to the strict side. If it's an obligation from the Torah from a woman, she have to go to the strict side. Why do I tell you this whole thing? Not that I came to teach you the laws, even though it probably will help you tomorrow when you forget Ya'aleh V'Yavo, you will know the rules. Even
Can you make a rule then for me? Like, what should I do then?
no, if a woman, first of all, you never forget if you say Birkat Hamazon or not.
No, but
If a Jew forget if he did Birkat Hamazon or not, that's already a very bad sign.
No, but sometimes I might forget about, let's say, or Ya'aleh V'Yavo.
So because of that, the same thing applies to that. If the whole Birkat Hamazon you don't have to repeat, it's needless to say if you forgot part of it, no? Needless to say.
So I should not.
Should not repeat.
Okay.
Should not repeat. But you can ask a man that is eating in the same table when he does to have you in mind. And you listen and you answer amen on his brachot and you get yourself out of the doubt. But why did I tell you this whole thing? Not because I came to teach you now the laws here. For the laws you have to go to yeshiva and learn. I just wanted to show you something about Rav Aaron Leib Steinman, 99 years old man that lives in Bnei Brak. Rav Steinman asked this question, listen good. He asked one of these students, someone like me, that he doesn't remember if he said Retzeh V'Achalitzenu on Shabbos, do I also have to repeat the whole Birkat Hamazon?
No.
Or not?
No.
What does it mean, someone like me?
Because he's not physically well.
Because it didn't mean it.
Physically well has nothing to do with your mind. The mind is one thing, and physically, if a person don't have legs, his mind is not sharp enough. What's the connection? Physical problem, health problem, doesn't mean necessarily that your mind is affected. Your mind can be sharp, better than a knife. So the answer is, someone like me that does not eat bread all week, and I'm not used to say Birkat Hamazon all 6 days of the week. I only eat bread on Shabbat because it's an obligation. But the rest of the week I'm fasting all week anyway. I don't eat anything. Anything. Not only bread. Nothing. So someone like me that is not used to say Birkat Hamazon, the only time I say Birkat Hamazon is with Retzeh V'Achalitzenu. Never without it. So the student asked him, Rabbi, how many years it's been going on like this? You ready? He told him for the last 70 years. He's 99 now. Since he's in his 20s, well, take off the 13 years of bar mitzvah. So only a few years in his life he used to say, in the beginning, he used to say regular Birkat Hamazon. And the last 70 years, he only said Birkat Hamazon with Retzeh V'Achalitzenu, which means he was always on Shabbat. So if I don't remember now, someone like me for sure said it. Right? Because I don't have 6 days of the week that I say Birkat Hamazon. I only say Retzeh V'Achalitzenu. So if I'm not sure, probably I did. Does he have to repeat? Or is not like ordinary people? It's a good point, very good point. Because the reason why other people have to repeat, we go by the majority. You say 20 times without, 1 time with, probably you say without. Because you're used to it. He's used to say weed. He doesn't have to repeat, of course. That would be the answer. But this is only just to show us what kind of people we have in our time. You go into his house, you know what's the furniture in the living room? You know the milk carts that you bring the milk with? That's how they made the chair with. Yes. And you know, I don't know if I ever told you this here. I remember saying it somewhere, but I don't remember where. He comes to America with a private airplane of Shimon Glick. Shimon Glick is a Jew from Muncie that has a private airplane. And every time that Rav Steinman needs to come to America, he takes him in his plane. He has a pilot. He takes him to Canada, to places like this. They save a lot of headache. Private place. So in the last time, a few years ago, that they went on above the Niagara Falls, from Toronto to New York, or from New York to Toronto. So he saw the Niagara Falls. So he told the pilot, go back, make a circle, and go very low as possible, right next to the falls. I want Rav Steinman to see it and make a bracha to Hashem for the beauty of the creation. So the pilot starts going around. So Rav Steinman was sitting on the other side of the plane. They sit on the side of the falls, and he sits on the other side. So I told him, Rabbi, you want to come and say bracha for Hashem, to praise Hashem for the creation? Here, we're going to go now on these falls. They explained to him the Niagara Falls and this. So once they got very close, they said, here, Rabbi, now you can come. So he gets up. He comes one step. Then he was pausing, thinking. Then he went back and sat in his chair. And the plane continued to go, and he didn't go to sea. So they told him, Rabbi, Baruch Oseh Maaseh Bereshit. You had an opportunity to praise Hashem for the creation of the beginning of the world. Look. So he said, when I got up, this is what I had in mind. I'm going now to look at the beautiful view that I can say a blessing to God. But after making one step, I was recalculating and thinking, do I really go to praise God for the falls, for the Niagara Falls? Or I'm going there to satisfy my curiosity? Which one is the truth here? I go there because I'm amazed from the creation and I clap to Hashem. How great you are. I admire you. Thank you. You're so great. Or I'm going there to see, wow, amazing, beautiful. How can it be? That's curiosity.
Is that bad?
It's not bad, but for curiosity, you don't make a blessing to Hashem. It's a desire. Curiosity is a desire. What? You know how you talk next to the kid? Every time I whisper something to my wife, my son showed up. What? Where were you? How are you always showing up? He begins to hear, you see, whispering. What was that? I didn't hear that. Hey, I know what it is. 1 hour now, try to hide it. That's a desire. You tell the person, no, we cannot tell you. Forget it. He's going to cry on the floor. Please, I pay you. Tell me.
But if you're curious and you saw something, can you say bracha?
No. You have to understand. You come to say bracha, you come because you are amazed from Hashem creation. Not like these Israelis. I'm going to India on a trip. Why you want to go to such a filthy place full of idols and idols worshippers? Why you want to go there? Isn't it better to sit in yeshiva and learn 10 hours Torah and gain 600,000 mitzvot every day than to walk there in the mountains of India? It's mitzvah. Hashem created such a beautiful world. I want to enjoy from the world and praise God for His creation. It makes me closer to God. In that case, why are you sitting on a beach smoking drugs in Goa when 5 million naked people? You came to praise God for all the women who sits there? Who are you telling stories? Or maybe for the quality of the drugs? Huh? Who are you fooling? You go, Rabbi, we go to Europe, It's beautiful art over there. Well, today in a computer you have everything for free. What do you need to waste time? Suitcases, security, take your shoes, miss the plane, running in the airport, which gate? Sit in air condition. Eiffel Tower. Yeah, beautiful. Next. Manhattan. See everything, beautiful pictures, everything for free. It took 20 minutes. You see the whole world in 20 minutes instead of 20 years. And you can go back to your Gemara and enjoy life. Rabbi, I made it the mission of my life. I have to be in every country before I die. We'll finish with one thing. One guy came to the Chazon Ish, one Israeli guy with the jeans and sandals on a bag. You know, he comes. They told him, go to this rabbi, Chazon Ish. You get a bracha from him. So he came to the Chazon Ish. So the Chazon Ish asked him, where are you coming from? So he told him, I come from Paris, Rabbi. What a trip I had. He said, where did you go in Paris? He said, I went to the Eiffel Towers. He said, tell me about it. He said, I climbed all the way to the top. It's amazing. You know, all the things, how they connect. He begins to describe the tower. So Chazon Ish told him, I think you have it wrong. It's connected from left to right, not from right to left. So he said to him, no, Rabbi, I've been there twice. It's the second time I'm in the Eiffel Tower. So he said, check again. You have pictures? If you have pictures, check. You see that it's the opposite. So the guy, he's a young guy, he said, Rabbi, you just told me, you know, where you went. You wanted me to describe the place. You're sitting here in this room in Bnei Brak. You've never been in the Eiffel Tower. Why are you arguing with me? I don't argue with you in Torah. You don't argue with me in the Eiffel Tower. By the way, what makes you so sure? So he told him, you think we, the Jews that learn Torah, needs to go all the way to France and waste a week to see the tower? We can see it from here. If your eyes are clean, you can see the whole world. You don't need to go all the way there. Which means he hinted to him, he has Ruach HaKodesh. I can see anything I want. Anything I want without even being there. Why we need to go there and see? Because we don't watch our eyes. We see things we're not allowed to see, then we lose our vision.